For some reason, I've been reading a lot and been in the mood to read end of the world books. So hey guys, it's me Dan here with another book review. This time I'm reviewing The End of the World Running Club by Adrian J. Walker, sorry. I remember seeing this book shortly after it first came out. Sometimes when I go to pick up my books, I will go and I will check out new releases. The library I go to, they have this one section that's in their foyer, and they kind of list them by genre, and this was in the new sci-fi section. And I have to admit, this cover is kind of interesting. And I picked it up, read the back, and I was like, you know what, that sounds like it might be a good read. That was way back in 2017, apparently, because this was originally independently published, like self-published by the author in 2014, and then it was internationally published in 2017. It doesn't feel like it's been 2 years since I've seen this book. It felt like it's not been that long at all. But anyways, it's an end-of-the-world book. What the premise is that asteroids have just decimated, like, a lot of major cities in the world. And there's a main character, Edgar Hill, who goes by Ed. He's kind of this guy who, like, he doesn't really take an active role in his family's life. He just kind of sits back and he's kind of have a really passive role. You get the impression when you're reading the beginning of the book that he didn't really want to be a family man, that he's just kind of there and just kind of dwelling and living his life, and he basically gets drunk and watches a lot of TV. And so, like, the night they have, like, they're warned, like, they kind of knew it was coming, and the night before, there's, like, alarms and shit. So he had fair warning, but he didn't really take it seriously because, like I said, the guy's kind of passive, doesn't really, is not really an active participant in anything in his life. So he kind of just blows it by, and he's awoken early in the morning by the clacks and the sound or whatever, and then realizes, hey, oh yeah, there's this event that's going to happen, and I have to prepare to get my family to safety. And I will have to admit, the very start of this book is very, very good. It's almost very much like an action movie where everybody's scrambling to get supplies, and you're not sure really what's going on. I will admit, I forgot what the book was about, so I went in kind of blindly when I read it, and I didn't read the back to say, what was this book, to refresh my memory of what it was about. And you'll kind of learn quickly what happens, and you're not really sure. And then the author kind of jumps time because they're surviving in their basement, and then the author kind of jumps time, which I didn't really care for because this is about a quarter of the way into the book. They jump time and they're rescued by these soldiers, and their life is just kind of turned upside down. They're living in barracks, and they have to be, he's forced to be an active participant and having to rescue and salvage for the little ragtag band group that they have. If I did not mention this already, it takes place in Edinburgh, Scotland. And it was pretty decimated, I guess. This book kind of reminded me of The Road, but just not as graphic and as dark as The Road by Cormac McCarthy. But it was enjoyable. I mean, I did like it. There were some times I was like, oh my god, this is a 4-star book. Like the beginning when it starts, I thought it was like a 4-star book. But then I was disappointed with the transition, the time the lapse where they jump forward by a couple of months. I didn't like that. And then there were other scenes where they'll meet survivors, and there's kind of, like just the question of what people will do to survive in an apocalyptic end-of-the-world scenario. But like I said, it's not as dark as The Road by Cormac McCarthy. Not as dark as that. It's mild in comparison to that book. But anyways, Ed, he gets separated from his family. He's out on a salvage run, and while he's gone, his family gets rescued yet again by another group that are trying to... Well, I'm not going to say anything more about that scenario, because if I say any more, then I'd be spoiling it for you. But he gets separated from his family, and he has to go south to the southern part of England to try to catch up with his family and where they are. And he meets a number of different characters that on the way there, and sees the devastation around the country and tries to get there the best way he can. And this quote is why the book is called The End of the World Running Club. They meet this one senior citizen guy who's living all by himself, and he kind of makes a joke about it. He's like, the End of the World Running Club, or something like that. And that was kind of an interesting scenario, too. I mean, they will meet, and there's a lot of things that the author hints at, but doesn't really come right out and say. Like, you kind of wonder if there's instances of cannibalism, stuff like that, because they meet this one kind of weird guy, and he's talking, oh, those aren't sausages, or something like that. And he's talking about sausages, and yeah, really kind of weird, creepy guy. Just different, and then there's this one girl they meet, so it's like a bunch of interesting characters that they meet that kind of made this for an enjoyable read. Like I said, it's not as dark as The Road by Cormac McCarthy, but it is what it is. I really wasn't too happy with the ending, because you're kind of thinking, he's going to all this effort to try to reach his family, and just the sheer endurance. And the fact that he kind of realizes after a while, like, this is a life-changing experience for Edgar, as he realizes and he wants to be more of an active participant in his family's life after he loses them, which is kind of, what can you say? But it was interesting. I did enjoy it, and if you're looking for an entertaining kind of light, not so dark read about the end of the world, then I would recommend this to you. It was around 400 some odd pages. It didn't take me that long to get through it. Of course, as always, I will have a link down below if you'd like to check this out. Definitely works for US, Amazon. UK and Canada, I'm not sure if it's going to work for you guys. Amazon said it should, but they're not 100% sure. No one's giving me feedback to let me know. For all others, free worldwide shipping, and they offer great discounts. I have a book depository link, too, where you can purchase this book or any other books through that link. I rated this 3 out of 5 stars. It was just okay. It is what it is. That's all I got for you guys. Till next time, I'll be geeking out.